Death Stranding 2 surprised me a lot. If you're somebody who loves a strong narrative in a game, a captivating story, an experience with unique characters and their backgrounds, on top of one of the most compelling worlds I've ever seen in a video game, why haven't you tried Death Stranding 2? Like, I'll admit, I was a hater calling this game an Amazon delivery simulator because from the casual lens, like, it looks like you're just delivering packages all day. Like, I've delivered packages before in my life. If I worked at FedEx, if I worked at UPS, Amazon, why would I want to come home and play Death Stranding 2? Like, why would I want to come home and do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me for years on end. And from the first game to the second game, I will say I am a reformed Kojima fan. What's good, YouTube? It's NoWayJeric, and I'm back with another video. Today, as you can see by the title and the gameplay that you're seeing on your screen, we're going to be talking about Death Stranding 2's greatness. But before we get into that, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate the love and support y'all been showing me. Let's get into it, man. Death Stranding 2, like, I can't believe I fell in love with this game. Very, very unexpected. I will highly recommend this game to anybody who likes, you know what I'm saying, strong narrative games. I haven't played the first Death Stranding fully. I played it on Game Pass and I didn't really fuck with it like that. I know the first one is like more focused on the delivery aspect of the game, which I mentioned earlier. I was roasting, you know what I'm saying, like when the game first came out and seeing gameplay, I was hating. But the reason I wanted to finally play the second one is because people said this is one is more of an all-around experience, an all-around game with the combat and delivery mechanics. You get your stealth sections, the third-person shooting, set pieces, etc. Death Stranding 2 kind of does, like, it follows the Sony third-person over the action cinematic trope, like the experiences you get from Spider-Man, Ghost, Last of Us, all that. As much as I love Death Stranding and those games to an extent, they all kind of feel the same. But Death Stranding to me, like, the reason I might take Death Stranding over those games was like the story, the narrative, the connection you have. Like the gameplay, I will say, is worse than all those games. It's not a power fantasy. You're not Kratos. You're not Spider-Man. Like, you're just Sam. They call him a repatriate. You know, he's an immortal being. Sam is just a nigga. Like, Sam is just a regular dude with, you know what I'm saying, immortal powers. But he's really cool, and I feel like his character has a lot of depth compared to those other characters. But it's not in your face like, oh my god, like you're not gonna love Sam off the rip. Like, you know, Peter Parker, you're gonna love off the rip. Kratos, he's a badass. Like, you know what I'm saying, he's a god killer, god slayer. Sam is just a nigga. Like, Sam's just a cool ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? He loves his baby. And he's not like somebody you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, like Sam Fisher, like he's him. But the more and more you play the story, the more and more you connect with him, the more and more you see his background, you know what I'm saying? How certain points in the game, certain aspects of the game affected him. You know what I'm saying? How the world affected him. This world is insane. Death Stranding 2 is really like sensical. I'm trying to articulate this the best way possible, but everything in the game is contextual and it makes sense. Like, Death Stranding 2 isn't trying to be Gears of War. It's not trying to be COD, Splinter Cell, or even Metal Gear. You know, Kojima made one of the best stealth game, you know what I'm saying, stealth series ever. It's not trying to be any of those games. Death Stranding 2 is so distinctive to its contemporaries in that what you're doing in the game is, like I said, contextual and ultimately just makes sense. Like, it would be kind of crazy if we were playing as Sam and all of a sudden this motherfucker turns into Marcus Phoenix and just mowing niggas down with chainsaws or woods from COD. It wouldn't make sense, like the way the game you know, portrays itself, the way the game portrays its themes and its concepts. It wouldn't make sense if Sam Fisher was, you know what I'm saying, Marcus Phoenix. I'm gonna try not to spoil the main plot, but the main goal of the game is trying to rebuild the world. Humanity is on the brink of extinction, and who you play as, Sam Fisher, you had to rebuild, you had to reconnect this broken world, bridge it together. You know, his name is Sam Porter Bridges. I don't know if y'all know, but like Porters are like the Amazon delivery. I hate saying it, but porters are the Amazon delivery drivers in the game. There's other people like Sam who rebuild, you know what I'm saying, the world with them. They're called porters. And bridges. Sam, like I said, he's here to connect the world, bridge it together. I know Kojima, that's one thing about Death Stranding I gotta accept. He hates conventional. I don't know what is up with Kojima. Like, I know he's one of the craziest creative minds we've ever seen in gaming. The nigga hates the names like John. He has to have the most like unconventional names. Sam Porter Bridges, my nigga. Like, bro, he had a nigga named what's his name? Dead Man. And guess what? The nigga was dead. Like, that's what what I'm saying. But back to my point, that's why you see so many bridge-like structures when you watch gameplay. I'm not gonna get too deep into like why that's a thing, but it's not playing like Uncharted and you're it's not like playing a game like Uncharted and you're questioning why the hell Nathan Drake is mercilessly killing people for some treasure. For like literally there's no reason for him to be killing all these damn people for some damn treasure from the damn 1400s from Christopher Columbus. Like that shit makes no sense. Like the gameplay is fun in Uncharted. I love the gameplay. I'm not denying that. But Uncharted could have been more like it's like Indiana Jones, like that came out last year, like one of my favorite games, and you know what I'm saying, Indiana Jones like inspired Uncharted, but they wanted to make a more heavily focused game with third-person shooting in Uncharted, which makes sense because the gameplay is really fun and engaging. Every little thing you do in Death Stranding is methodical and put in place for a reason. It tries to be very consistent the whole playthrough, and I think they do a very good job at that, especially at the end of the game, how they wrap the whole story up. It's a chef's kiss. It is a masterful ending. Getting an ending in games and movies and anime and TV shows is so hard to do, and it's so hard to wrap everything back. But Death Stranding 2 did such a great job with the ending. It's not too open-ended. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I still have some questions, but for the most part, what they did was beautiful. I will give credit to that, because endings in any media is hard to do. There's plot holes in the story. It's not perfect. Like I said, they wanted to try and be, you know what I'm saying, the most consistent, and sometimes you're gonna have inconsistencies in the most consistent shit. Like that's just how it works. Like nothing wrong with them having plot holes. They tried to be like that, but Death Stranding 2 is a one-of-a-kind experience. If you know me, if you know this channel, you know some of my favorite games ever. I'm a gameplay first person. Like I like stories in my games. Like I like stories that, you know what I'm saying, that engage me, but the art form I'm into is games, nigga. I'm here to play games. You know, Sekiro, Elden Ring, Resident Evil 4, Black Ops 1, X-Men Legends. Those games don't have a crazy story. They have a story to push the plot along. Elden Ring has a great story, you know what I'm saying, great lore, but they, you know, environmental storytelling, blah, blah, blah. This game kind of changed my outlook on like more story focused games. Like one of my favorite games ever that's story focused is like The Walking Dead Season 1 Telltale. That's like the main one that everybody goes back to. Amazing experience, great writing, like heart-wrenching ending. Another game like that too is Wolf Among Us. I really love Wolf Among Us too. Like Wolf Among Us 2, by the way, will be a banger. I can't wait for that game. But Wolf Among Us, another heavily story focused game, great writing, great characters, great great cliffhanger ending. Like that ending from literally 13 years ago still got niggas talking about, you know what I'm saying, was she real or not. I'm not gonna spoil the Wolf Among Us ending, but go play Wolf Among Us. This Death Stranding 2 kind of changed my outlook on those games, and it's like maybe I'm more willing as a gameplay first person to go and play story focused games more, even if the gameplay is redundant. Like sometimes the gameplay in Death Stranding 2 gets redundant. Like I'm not gonna lie, like going to different areas on the map, you're backtracking somewhat in some parts of the game and getting packages and having, it's very inventory management heavy. Like imagine Resident Evil 4 2, but really more in depth, because you have to, you know, micromanage so many different things throughout the story. But I always go back and forth in that question. Like I don't really like the gameplay in the pointing, like the Telltale games, and you know, Death Stranding 2 to a certain extent. Like I don't like point and click games. I don't like the, you know, the gameplay wise. I'm not saying the stories, but Detroit Become Human, you know what I'm saying, The Quarry, all the Telltale games. Like the story has to be really gripping enough for me, and it has to be contextual for me to like really lock in, you know what I'm saying? And in Death Stranding 2's case, the redundant ass boring gameplay is contextual to the story, and that's what grips me. So if y'all can recommend any other games like that are really contextual to the story, maybe, you know what I'm saying, from the Telltale devs point of view, their intentions was to make the gameplay kind of, you know what I'm saying, peeled back because they wanted the story to be the main focus and the choices you make, even though the Telltale choices don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But I'm not gonna get into all that. But hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. That's gonna be my outro. If you have any more, you know what I'm saying, story focused games that y'all recommend me, like even indie games that y'all recommend me where like the gameplay isn't the main focus. Death Stranding 2 is a really crazy and unique combination of like contextual gameplay that's really redundant, but the story is really good. Like the mystery and the unraveling of all the story elements, it's really, really good. It's really, really top tier. So hope you enjoyed the video. Highly, highly recommend Death Stranding 2 if you like the Sony exclusives and you haven't played Death Stranding at all yet. Highly, highly recommend it. I always hate on this game. You know what I'm saying? To an extent, this still is an Amazon delivery simulator, but I fuck with it. I love Death Stranding 2. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to always sing the praises of this game. I'm a reformed Kojima fan. Shout out Kojima for making a really, really great game. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all the support you have been showing me. And y'all take it easy, man. Have a great day.